Hi friends, happy hump day, July 15th, 2026. It is a really good hot one outside today in the middle of July, smack dab in the middle. It's about 93-ish degrees outside, and let's talk about that a little bit. And so we're about 5,000 feet elevation right here in the Front Range, and it's not all even. Like Colorado Springs is about 6,000 feet. Denver famously is 5,280, and so the differences can be significant, especially when it comes to wind and temperature. And so being at 5,000 feet, and then the 14ers, the 14,000 feet peaks that we have looming over town, that's in the distance. So up there, if it's maybe 40 degrees Fahrenheit and it's 93 degrees here, in the Front Range, the winds can be so fierce, and so the cold pressure from the cold mountaintops wants to release its energy and to balance out, to even out, and so it blows toward the low pressure, which is heat, and hotness is low pressure. And so we get really fierce winds coming from the west, and they can be very, very strong, and sometimes very dangerously strong. And so with lots of wildfires and dryness and drought, we have an extended drought happening here and in the several of the western states. And so that's very dangerous, makes everybody with remote properties, firefighters, whoever, it's very unsafe to have this dryness, to have the high winds. And so being at 5,000 feet elevation, in a high area desert, semi-arid, not desert like the Mojave, but when we sweat, we lose water in a way that we don't realize, because it is so dry, and so the air kind of wicks that moisture off of our faces, our pits, whatever, and we don't really notice it as much. And so it's really easy to go, oh, it feels better here, it's not really as dangerous, but it is. And you're drying out and you're dehydrating faster. The vegetation dries out way faster, just the same. And so with your dry vegetation, fire, hazard, and the high winds, and then we still have the fires going in the Aspen Acres area west of Pueblo, the Ferris fires in the southwestern region of Colorado, the Gold Mountain fire near Ouray. They are all still burning, as well as more in Utah, and they're making the horizon very smoky looking, very hazy and dusty looking, and it's very evident, like our eyes are burning. And it's people with asthma, they need to stay inside and make sure that they stay cool and stay near their inhalers and that kind of thing. And so low humidity just makes it feel different, and you can't feel the danger in the same way. And so in New Orleans and Biloxi, Mississippi today, which are Gulf Coast states near the very wet, swampy Mississippi Delta region, is a similar temperature. It's 93 degrees in New Orleans right at the same time here. And let me go back for just a second. At night, we cool off. That's a feature of semi-arid and desert regions, is that it's very hot during the day and the temperature really swings consistently, and it's cold or very cool at night. And so in the Gulf Coast states, that doesn't really happen. There's incredibly high humidity. It's very swampy. The higher heat index has to do with, like, okay, say you're in the French Quarter in New Orleans and it's like 94 degrees, and so you're sweating. You're going to keep sweating and sweating and sweating, and it's not going to cool you off because of the incredibly high humidity surrounding you. It's not wicking the sweat off of your body, and that makes your sweat less effective. You're still going to sweat, but you're still heating up because it's just it's dripping and it's not wicking off with the wind. The wind is not cool, in NOLA, in Biloxi, and those in that region, the whole region, and the heat illness risk is incredible, because some people will go outside with neck fans, which I love that, do that, or wearing those, they're towels that are designed to be cool, and you wet them and you put them around your neck. Those are so effective. Everybody should be having those, and not everybody does. And so the heat is very dangerous, and it's at sea level. And so it's not not being as high up, you don't have like the high UV rays that we have here, and so you absolutely get sunburn, but you have more sun protection because the atmosphere is denser at sea level, which is actually New Orleans is a little bit below sea level, quite honestly, so below. And then they don't really cool off so much at night. If you have 105 degrees during the day and you only get to 85 at night, you're still going to be suffering, and that's very, very dangerous. You need to be able to get cool at night. Your body remembers, your body can only do what it can do, and so we need to, like, artificially in these areas, you know, make sure that you get cooled off. And so if you could imagine your thermometer that maybe you have out on your back, you know, porch, and it's like a, you know, like a mercury bulb kind of thermometer, and you wrap a wet cloth around that, and the temperature is going to keep going up, and it's not going to be able to cool off because the wind can't get to that bulb because it's wrapped in wetness. And so I don't know if that helps, like, kind of helps me visualize it a little bit. There's a little gnat, you see that? And so yeah, it's really dangerous in these areas, and there's tons of places just like this around India, in the deltas in Africa, you know, in our Caribbean countries. It's, the humidity is very, very high, and it's more mild in the tropical regions, but in the temperate regions where the temperatures huge swings, you know, just gigantic swings, it's a lot more dangerous. And currently in the Las Vegas, kind of Needles, California region, it is in the 110s, and so it's incredibly dangerous. And so please take care of yourself, and that's more of a desert region, you know, and so take care of yourself there. Just stay inside, lots of sunscreen, take care. Love you all. Thanks for clicking on this video so much. I really appreciate it, and I'll talk to you soon.